say, where the fuck did my tweet go? It wasn't that long ago. Ugh. We'll let it play for just a little bit. Who out here doing illegal shit? That's what we're truly on the hunt to find out forever. What's up, Ben? We have to go find out immediately. Drops are available on Fextra Life. I don't care. How's it going? It's going good, Ben. And Exalted, you are not first. How does it feel? How does it feel to just lie? Haven't got concerned about Time Traveler yet, but how'd you feel about the case? I feel it was a nice fan service case. Like it's definitely not like up there. However, I do enjoy seeing the re-interactions of Phoenix, Miles, and Maya again. It's a pretty nice case. Like it felt like a good original trilogy case, but it was it was really easy to figure out. It's not a perfect case, but honestly, it's one of the most fun ones just because you get so much character nonsense. Yeah, I'd agree with that statement. Like I'd say it's like I when I put it in B, I think it's gonna end up staying in B in the tier list because it's just nice and fun. It's nothing I can't really I can't really yell too much about. You get Larry back, but they didn't bring back Gumshoe, so what's the fucking point? IDKY, but I was burned out seeing some Ace Attorney stuff, so I missed out on the DLC case. I'll watch it another time. It's alright, to be honest. Alright, but speaking of Detective Dick Gumshoe and Miles, my nigga Edgeworth, look at him. Just look at him. This is how you started off right. Turnabout Visitor. Ooh. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. A lot of question marks. To make sure the defendant is found guilty. What other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. Oh, Miles in his office giving narration? That may be true, but why? Who's he talking to? Why go this far? Wait, is it Miles? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. We starting off strong. Niggas getting killed in Miles' office. Dog. Well, it ain't Miles. Knew that much. That nigga's forehead is massive. Neona, no. March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. Why would you do this to yourself, Nihona? Unable to time out user? What? There we go. I don't know why I wasn't able to do that. What the fuck? Nobody told me. I haven't seen any footage of this game. I haven't seen anything in particular about this game. Those pixels caught me off. Jesus Christ. Ace Attorney Investigations is an adventure game with Ace Attorney gameplay. It's point and click time. Oh, motherfuck. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? So this is after game 1 fully then, because he has the King of Prosecutors trophy back there. What's the meaning of this? Freeze. So you really gonna shoot me, huh? In my office? Identify yourself. My fucking throat. Shut up? Oh, you must not know who you're talking to. You in my office, by the way. Just go ahead and lower that. You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. For what purpose? Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Oh. Yeah, you better run, pussy. Yo. Nah. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 p.m. or a.m. rather. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. Ooh. Finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Where is Detective Dick Gumshoe? Where is he? Hey! Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had been taking place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Ah! Look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. He left his gun behind, too? What a fucking moron. Dog, how are you gonna shoot somebody and then toss the gun on the floor? No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Your art style is kinda nice, I guess. Yeah, for the up-close pictures, it's alright. Whoa, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Ho ho! That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched into the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Crime scene, my office. Is it really coincidence that the murder took... Ooh, hold on. So is that going to be... Is this, like, added to the court record? It's added to logic. Get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office. For security reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. Alright. What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? No, Gumshoe, no! By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. So Edgeworth doesn't have a special power like Magatama or a bracelet or hearing some bullshit. Man only has logic. Man, just think. I looked it up, and investigations 1 takes roughly 1 month after trials and tribulations. Okay. So 1 month after case 5 then. Okay, that's pretty neat. That is the end result of using logic. Smug Sprite could be better. So how do you use it? First, I recall information through the logic button, and then connect them together. Now, to touch the logic button and recall the facts. Okay. Wait, what? So I confirm that there and confirm that there. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Okay, so you combine you combine two things that fit together, right? Interesting. That's actually pretty cool. And so it's more so that you have to try to figure out how they fit together rather than you have to figure out like what specific statement you're trying to refute with them. Unless unless I'd still have them. Oh, prosecutor's badge. Dog, why does the prosecutor's badge look so sick? The fuck? However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. I fuck with it. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking, sir. I assume we already saw Edgeworth tell the intruder to fuck off and get ready to get caught while at gunpoint. Yeah, quite literally, hey, you better shoot. Hey, you'll get caught, but if you want to make sure, you better shoot. Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. Begin investigation. Basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Alright, so, where's the examine button? Oh, shit, okay. Interesting. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective, I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver used as the ones used by those precinct's detectives. Okay, well, makes it a fucking potential cop, right? This is actually really neat. I fuck with this, and I think I can touch anywhere and move around. Ouch, they knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up, ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. Yo, come on, Edgeworth. Bro. Touch anywhere and it becomes a circle pad. That's actually pretty cool. I fuck with that. At least for a mobile port. You know, that's pretty cool. I finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright, well, the first things first. Let's look at your wallet. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. Come shoot, please. Oh, it's a police badge. Come on, Edgeworth. Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Buddy Faith? Oh, man, they took Buddy out. No, not Buddy. God damn it. Neona's back in effect. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. I can't believe Buddy Faith got smoked. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Well, all I really have right now is the gun and the badge, right? Cause do I connect them together? Okay, okay, so I have the previous thing that I discovered. Oh, and I can double tap. And if I hit back, okay. This actually makes a lot of sense. Alright, so... Was he killed with his own gun? The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What do we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster. I mean, yeah, we can see that. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Victim's revolver data jotted down in my organizer. Fuck a court record. Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. Sprite is a glow up for Gumshoe? Yeah, nah. This game gives us the Dick Gumshoe content we need. Alright, so organizer, when we're examining a piece, I have but to touch the organize button. Okay. Isn't for evidence, I keep people's profiles in it on hand too. Switch tabs. Hey. Detective in the precinct and the victim. Why was he killed in my office? Dick Gumshoe, 32, homicide detective at the local precinct, in charge of the initial investigation. This game gives you the dick you need, quite literally. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. As I always say, you gotta look real carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar to zoom in and out and get at the nitty gritty. Alright. Okay, so we can examine the actual bullets. One round fired. A fired round doesn't really look like that, but okay. It only looks like one round was fired from this. What's up, C-Bay? Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but it is a distinct possibility. That was a hard cut. Alright. Let's give the body a once-over. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Gumshoe definitely says, Vic, this is accurate for sure. Yeah, no, of course. Dick Gumshoe is your standard issue private eye. His name is Dick, for God's sakes. And his last name is Gumshoe, for God's sakes. Let's give the body a once-over. Okay, so we already got this. I thought I would get something different for the hand and the abdominal area. His name is literally Detective. Yeah. Hyper Detective. Your fires are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Signs of a struggle. Neat. Oh, I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. Uh-oh, I think I forgot to change my connection over. Fuck. Well, we'll see how far we can go before hard frame drops. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I water the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? Come on, Edgeworth. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to autopsy. Jim! Why, oh why, how could this have happened to a guy like you? Hello, murderer. Are you alright? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't just talk about him like he's some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. I'm sure, but just in a blood-stained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Why do you got a gold medal on? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I'm Jack Sportsman. Fuck. God damn it. Jack Sportsman? Prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're that Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office's doors have locks built into them, and only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Dick. Don't fucking... It's either Jack Sportsman or Jock Sportsman. Right? But Gumshoe, don't fucking out yourself. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know? Anyway, let's call the truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Jax is pronounced like Jock's Sportsman? Okay. A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on. It's your room, after all. Thank you, I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there. Sir. I want you to capture the scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. I should probably give them some space. Edgeworth hates this. Also, at the same time. Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing around. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? Well, this means that there was a second bullet fired, and so if the gun on the floor could not have been the same gun that fired this, or it's a different murder weapon, or there's a couple different implications. They dared shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in. What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. I like how Edgeworth is fucking already on top of it. There is like literally zero downtime. It is, oh shit, there's a bullet hole there. They almost shot your jacket. That's not the thing I'm noticing. Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of my evidence, or a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to spot the holes that holds the contradiction. This is it. The bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. With conviction, you say? Hold on. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. The revolver. Pog. Wait, what? What could... Do I have to fucking... Did I do it wrong? Oh, I hit check, I think, right? Eureka! Hold on. That's pretty neat. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. And the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Another handgun. By the way, I noticed something, sir. See, if this was a standard Phoenix Wright game, it would be like the bullet hole in frame, and then it would say like, how does this fit into the case? I don't fucking know. The moment we hear that God tier pursuit theme, vid is getting posted frame 1. Oh god. I have no idea what the pursuit theme is. I know quite literally nothing about this game. All I knew is that it was centered around Miles and Gumshoe showed up in it. Yes. What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Oh, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. Well, spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Talk about dusty. I suppose this would happen when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Just casually dropping fucking entire department secrets. Good shit, Edgeworth. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. So it actually, an updated autopsy report very well just might be in there. Or have been in there at one point. Phoenix has the Magatama for cap detection, Apollo has the bracelet, Athena has widget, and Edgeworth has gumshoe for basic logic. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. Now I can see, because I believe somebody, I don't remember who said it, but I remember somebody saying Emma was supposed to be in the Edgeworth games, and 1.5 was supposed to introduce her. And it would make sense for this, as long as they keep this theme of Edgeworth investigating actual murder scenes with the forensics team around. That was you, Exalted? Okay, couldn't remember. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. Secret safe updated in my organizer. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Connect the dots time. Alright, so let's go. Alright, so we got killer's goal, signs of a struggle, wipe fingerprints, another handgun. Well, I mean, the killer's goal has to play in part with the safe if somebody wiped it off. I believe I have figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Theft? Question mark. It's also nice that he doesn't, like, directly lead on from, like, his assumption. It's like, oh, the motive is potentially theft? I love that you can take damage if you get the logic wrong. The fuck happens thinking too hard? I mean, of course. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. You're going down the wrong path, go so far down you just lose sight of the answer. Okay, so we have signs of a struggle and theft? Question mark? This little animation takes way too long and it makes me think I'm going to take damage. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm going to shelve the files like you've never seen before, even at a library. Sure, let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. Even though I love Emma, having her have her own case retroactively added to the first game, playing a major role in the fourth game, and having her own game about 2 years later would have been a bit OD. I mean, yeah, but at that point, like, at what point do you say this is no longer a game about attorneys and defense attorneys and prosecutors, and is it more about, oh, it's about Emma, it's about forensics? And so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done. Alright, so we got... Wait, what? You did it wrong, dumbass. We have 1A through H, 2A through H, and we have 3A through C, and OA, or 0A through 0E. It would appear the murder was definitely committed here. The bloodstains on a bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. Yeah, because it looks like he would have, like, put his hands behind him to prop himself up. And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kinda grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm no good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim? Yeah, it should be higher. For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates that the file were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. And I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? We don't have anything, do we? I mean, technically. Yeah. There's clearly a contradiction with his bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. Or what if the guy was shot while he was sitting and lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. And that means... Wait, what does that mean? It means you use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means that someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that a current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption? The order of the files. 0 should be higher up. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files here are wrong, sir. Oh. Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. Dog. As I suspected, this bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before the crime and once after. But why? Gumshoe doesn't deserve that. I mean, in Edgeworth's offense, you know, Dick maybe deserved that. Maybe a little bit. Dick Gumshoe can have a little yelling as a treat. Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Quiet, Edgeworth stand. Look. No. Alright. So we got 0F. Oh, I didn't even notice that we had 0F0G over here. This. What is this? Uh-oh. Why does it say Gumshoe in there in blood? I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Or, that was fucking Portsman. I keep forgetting Portsman is in here. Yes, indicative of a criminal activity indeed. No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Dog. Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Somebody took one of my files. About me being innocent. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? So whatever was in 0H... Investigation complete. Huh. It's pretty interesting. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Stomping your feet like that, come on. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Ooh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? You've had at least 3 cases to see it in action, Gumshoe. At least 3. We know. We know how it works. Mr. Portsman, if you are ready. Aw, if you don't have time, you could have just say so, sir. Cross-examination. Argument? Hold on. Not testimony. Argument. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gum from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed the theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. We'll find the flaw in this man's... I like how, even though, like, Edgeworth isn't, like, hyper warm to the concept of friendship, he's like, you know what? I believe in Gumshoe. There's no way he committed a murder. Not in my office. There is no way. I believe in the man's. And expose it with credible evidence. Alright. Hey! Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you... Is there a way I can change the skip speed? Yeah. Text skip all. There we go. Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Low spec mode for when the game runs sluggishly. Okay. D-pad touch. I'll keep it on D-pad because I think that's how I'm going to be enjoying it this much, or how I'm going to be enjoying it the best instead of having a fucking D-pad on screen the whole time. Save your progress. Can I go back? Continue to... Alright, fuck it. Yeah, this game occurs 1 month after the 5th case of Trials, or 1 month after Trials and Tribulations. Not the final case, case 1. My bad. Thanks to that, you didn't know the bloody letters, and it'll be his final words that you'll be brought to justice. Okay, well, we couldn't notice the full thing because a file is missing, so... Stolen file, present. Headshake, yeah! It's not as smug as Trilogy Miles Headshake, but it's pretty decent. Perhaps you are not aware, Mr. Portsmouth, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking? I get it. If you have the time to laugh, you have time to take another closer look at this. This is the objection theme? This is nice. For Edgeworth, it's nice. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsmouth? Nothing? The files on that shelf are about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt that they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spine. It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. Okay, now it's getting better. It's called Miles Edgeworth Objection 2009. This kick up right here with these synth notes is great. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Well, you leaned all the way back for that one. Jesus Christ, Fat Joe, eat your heart out. Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. It's so low. I can't believe that criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsmouth. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up. However, What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Dog, look at Smug Gumshoe. Look at him. That's such a great sprite. What? That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence.
Then why do I sense that you still have something to say?
Either on or off, dickhead. Pick one. Well, I was thinking. Did you know that there's one other person with a key to this office? Gogeta type B, quite literally. Yeah, you can't spell Gumshoe without smug backwards.
One other person.
Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me?
Lady.
The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. 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 Please, no.
What's wrong with him all of a sudden?
Oh, thank fucking God. I believe she needs no introduction. I've called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Hold on. This Maggie fit is okay. Detective Gumshoe, sir? Maggie. Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight.
I see. And your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open up all the office doors in this building. What? If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. What is she holding? Is that her hat? Maggie literally can't catch a break. What was it? The Mistress of Misfortune? It rings true.
That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it really wasn't me. But it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Pick one, on or off, you motherfucker. Why I hate his pop collar? Because the jacket is even accentuating it further? What were you scared of, Meekins? I was scared of fucking Wendy Oldbag from walking into my office. I heard female member of security and I got scared. Dog, it's really the Gogeta gif. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves... Oh, fuck. I don't have a chat log button. On top of which, she doesn't know our good detective, doesn't she? Okay. So Maggie Bird, prime suspect. Okay. Thank you, stream. Making that all more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
So you're saying that she used the master key?
Okay. Received from Miss Maggie Bird. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well.
That was then, this is now. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him.
Alright, time to press. It's pretty obvious that she snuck in using the master key.
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of the night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's true, but I also like how people in question are popping up next to Miles. But yeah, no, Maggie's jacket fit is pretty nice. But I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to. What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, yes, moving on. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I thought I was going to say I hate women. I saw plus I hate W, and my mind auto-completed that one.
Should I hear Miss Bird out?
Ask for more details.
Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to attest to how bad our luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe.
This is Mr. Portsman says, Detective. Can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of a theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time for counterattack with a few facts of my own.
Quite literally, it's facts and logic's time. Her intent? Look. How would Maggie know about the safe, brother? How would she know about the safe? You and I are the only ones that could have known about it. Nigga said I'm done losing. Time to shit on this loser.
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something?
Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. Oh. Got him.
That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors.
Dog, don't lean back. It's not that hard of a hit. You can just calm down, okay?
I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was part of a cunning plan.
But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have ever known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Yeah, I wonder who.
Interesting conclusion. It's definitely looking more and more probable.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses! Why? What made you... What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault.
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. And that means... Yeah, I know. I had only told him two. I'd only just told him two. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird? Excuse me?
Edgeworth really isn't buying shit for nothing. Like, are you fucking serious, homie?
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who'd probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that, not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have gated his office, which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as... This is my office, nigga, move! You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Listen to Gumshoe. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You all are suspects of varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal. How many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But, sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me here. I'm a cook. To be continued. Holy shit, that was fast. Unless this is like a three-parter? End part... Wait, hold on. What? End part 1? Okay, so is this like a... Is it like... Progress... Like... Is there... How many parts are there in this game? Somebody please help. I don't know. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. So close. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. End part 1 of case 1. Wait, so... Okay, just like... Okay, so we have chapters specifically set up. Okay, because I was thinking when it said part 1 end, I was like, this is going to be, like, this is the end of part 1, and this case continues into part 2, and then there's going to be a part 3. Like, I thought it was going to be like that. March 14th, 12th floor hallway. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. Yeah, no despair. Fuck that word. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to this master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. Damn it, Ben. How is it every time? Also, he said now is not the time for despair. No despair. Begin investigation. Pretty neato. Oh, how far do we get to go? Oh! Why are you here? Leave. Also, shout out to the fucking hoop inside. There's no way that's regulation, right? Absolutely no way at all, because doors are like, what, like 6 feet some inches? It's not a regulation hoop. Why the fuck is it in here? Anyways. I can see it. There we go. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. It's... Ah! Isn't that missing O series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters make it clear as day. What's up, Ave? There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these old files about, sir? I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. And that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages that are related from 10 years ago. Oh, great. Can't be Ace Attorney without having a case from a certain amount of years ago. Let's go. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. What is the basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I hear he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Maybe tennis. Maybe tennis. What's the basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be outside next to the building a long time ago? So, when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Got a lyric so I can cook, but this game seems like a nice spin on the series so far. Yeah, so far it's pretty enjoyable. Drag it. I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so that poor guy had to bring it in himself. All the way up to the 12th floor. I mean, it makes sense. Talk. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. You must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice, stay focused or you might start to lose even more weight. How's everything going? I'm finally back up to 145 pounds, or 54 pounds. It's a little bit kind of hard. This office. 1203. 1203. Hey, Maggie, whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsman, sir. So he's my new neighbor, I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas. Alright. Looks like you're in quite a pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. Also, it's 4 in the morning, Payne. Go home! We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Will you slap these cases in your tier list when the game's done? Potentially. If the, because if the cases will work the same way, then yeah. Like, because I assume that we're not going to be going into the courtroom pretty much at all, but gotta at least see how this one turns out before I can give a definitive answer on that. Who is this guy again, by the way? Alright. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. Okay, so master key. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. Like I said, Winston's not a horrible dude, kind of a prick. He ain't corrupt, at least unlike his brother. Yeah. But I mean, he's a pain. So he just sucks. And I noticed it was back around 2:30 AM. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those 2 times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you see. Except for this time. Always, you say, except for this time, correct? He's a pain in the... Wow, go to jail. There's no need for that. Just hush. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left sitting out on the ledge.
She used the master key?
Alright.
Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once I'd love to play with him. Yo, Gumshoe is a power forward, fuck off.
It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I would have fit in all that well with him. Cause Gumshoe just dunks. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective. She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the ninth floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of food, and failed almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one's lifetime.
I know, and just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about that, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help.
Look how happy she is. Imagine getting crossed up by Gumshoe. Dog. If Gumshoe breaks your ankles, you legally have to go home. What did you mean by use the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who'd forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah.
What is it?
That's right, I just remembered. It was Mr. Portsman, sir.
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird. Quickly.
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman has forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir.
And that's when you loaned the master key to him?
No way. It's against my regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
Maggie in her fucking security guard outfit. Good looks. If Gumshoe breaks my ankles, I might have to retire forever. Dog. Just lay down on the court and just wait for somebody to trample on your head. And then, what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
Talk about suspicious.
I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door.
Alright. Move. Door.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Door's locked tight.
Bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Ah, so I guess a great cat burglar could get it. That must be who our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from?
Edgeworth, no. Not the Gumshoe, no.
Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office.
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why is Mr. Portman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because his birthday is something like December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be. Can't think of another reason why. Gumshoe, I can think of at least three. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's kind of majestic too. Fits real well with the ambience of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be Dog.
No.
They didn't make him a janitor. No.
Bro. That's fucked. Alright, let's see if we can look at the doorknob. Never mind. What do I have to look at? Am I not looking at the doorknob itself? Am I going crazy? Maybe I am. Basketball hoop? Nope. Because I was gonna think maybe at the bottom of the fucking hoop you'd see it being dragged from over here to over here, but... What am I supposed to be doing here? Check your own door out? I mean, fair enough. Okay. That's probably what it is. I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either side. Meaning the door was really open with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob's as clean as a whistle. Why would they think? What this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. 1202. These four numbers on a plate, on the number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, those number plates slide right out, sir. I have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Yeah, almost like these two doors could have been swapped. And Maggie would have been none the wiser if she was coming up here to let somebody in. What the fuck do I... What do I... Hey, Gumshoe. Yes, sir. That just seems like... Do we have any logic? I mean, technically, we don't. Master Key was stolen. Use the Master Key. I don't think any logic will help. Because unless it's this, but that seems very simple. But simple works, I guess. Hate grinding for materials in Granblue. Thank you for reminding me to do my login and do my dead multi that I'm inevitably gonna have. What? No way, pal. The pal is rubbing off. Gumshoe is infecting people. No. I got Grand Rhine yesterday. I kind of want to get Rhine, but I don't know if I'm gonna be as to so lucky. And I'm saving my what's the fucks. I'm saving my crystals for sparking Alexiel. Yep, dead multi. I got 2 silver moons. Sick. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. But I forgot all about that. Thanks to you, I remember it now. Ryan skill 3 is literally just man is too angry to die. I would like Ryan, but I mean, He doesn't like my fire team is literally so good right now. Getting him wouldn't change it up too much, right? My fire team is literally crack. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. And it's not at the end. I'll take a gold moon, I guess. Yeah. Gotta take it where you get it. Marduk summon? Sick. Ryan is good at 15 melee characters, of course, but like, let me screenshot my fire team. My fire team is fucking sick. Fire team is nutty. It's the best team I have. There you go. Look at that. You're gonna tell me that I'm gonna be swapping any one of these lords out? And before you say, well, yeah, you can swap Percy out. Percy's about to get a buff, nigga. Let's go. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended.
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up his room, sir. Maggie, there is quite literally no need for that. You didn't have to pretend to do that, but okay. I hope Anthuria's rebalance is good, because if it is, she can have really good synergy with Ryan. I'm just glad for all these rebuffs, because Algo and Percy really fucking needed it. And Olivia's getting one too, right? On Dark. So that's going to be really cool.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. But checking it, it was locked. Right? Oh, and now we have Deduce open. Great.
Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Yep. Because it wasn't supposed to be locked. I have been freed. What's up, Gallus? You're a short while behind, but we haven't done all that much. We found there was a murder that took place in supposedly my office.
There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
Hey, you know you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
This is Percival Anthuria, Gawain, Carmelina, Thrio, Valentine's Day Medusa, De La Phil, Cyriel, Vera, and Olivia. I thought, wait, did you mean to say Medusa, or did you mean to say, Narmaya? Because I remember, yeah, okay, that's the other one. Aglovale, excuse me, and Narm. Because I saw Narm was getting one for her summer variant. Hopefully it puts that one in line with her other two SSR variants, but De La Phil needs a full limit break, yeah. That's correct. I'm certain of it, sir, and I don't think Mr. Portsman hadn't noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She opened a different door? But how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is we need to examine these.
The prints on the number plates? Or the prints on the doorknob, technically. Because if this one has prints on it, then Maggie opened this one, but if the other one doesn't... It could be either of these two. Fuck it, let's see prints on the doorknob.
The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Because if she touched the other one and Portsman wiped it down, then obviously they wouldn't have any prints on it. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and think and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what did you find out?
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective.
Sir, I've only found Mr. Portsman and Mr. Faith's prints on the doorknob.
So only two people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
Huh? I'm lost, sir.
You're thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose print should also be on this door? Oh, come on. Come on, Edgeworth. You know. No tutorial thinking. Don't you find it odd that the person of the prints who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different
one. I wonder who.
What do we have here?
I won't rest until I've inspected every looking suspicious nook and cranny.
What is this?
Looks like a scrap of paper, sir. I'll get it, sir. Let's see.
Oh, there's something written on it. It looks like a note from the victim.
I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. And it's from Mr. Portsman. Note left by victim. Jot it down. What you got here? Let's see this. Yeah, as long as anyone has a fucking Shiva and you can follow it up with a decent fire unit, your fire team is fine. I have so many top tier fire units, it's really hard to actually put it, like, I think I pretty much have almost all of what people would call the SS tiered dark units, right?
What's this?
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game?
That's okay, detective.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take a note of this.
I tried using Mugi to my team, but I don't like his RNG. I like it just because he has a full... It's effectively like he has a full one-turn substitution for the rest of the team that he just takes damage in. So if somebody happens to die in the main rotation, or like in the 2 rotation, I can have him come out and kind of like hold the line down for just a little bit. His RNG is fine for me. It's nothing too game-breaking or anything. Investigation complete. Neat.
Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth.
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman?
I knew it.
It's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I'm probably going to try and bring Rackham up front once I 5-star him instead of Tina. Yeah, I should probably work on 5-starring Rackham, too. Because I've got him, it's just... Like, you know, let me actually go into my upgrade shit and show you exactly what I'm working with, because this shit is gross. Alright. We go into an empty party and actually select some shit. Speaking of Yugen pouring out for Keiji Fujiwara, pour one, salutes. That's the homie. Now, I will say ignore the Nicholas because I forgot to just get him all the way up. But here's page 1. And here's page 2. Look at all this power I have for fire. I really absolutely don't need Rhine. Also, I've got to use the bathroom, and I'm probably going to be gone for a long time. And we haven't even gotten a proper chance to show this off. So I'm going to be right back in just a little bit. You guys stay safe. We'll be right back.
Okay. Everybody's still here? Everybody's still good? We're still fine? Nobody's lost their mind? You forgot Pearl and Trucy? Look, the bald screen will be updated. Had a little bit of a grumbly in my tumbly. Ate a couple grilled cheeses for lunch. Look, anybody that you may think might need to be added could be added in the future. We have the technology, we can update the picture. Whew. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. Is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14th, 5:12 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letter, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. What? There was no need for that. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Mossed. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. And a line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jock Sportsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay. If you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through the unsightly, paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? Don't speak his name. Do not speak ill of God, lest you be judged. Kind of fuck shit is that? Your fucking mentor was Von Karma? Yo, say it with your chest, pussy nigga. I will fuck you up. My god, what kind of disrespect is that? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. There was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play with these mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouthful of yours is now explaining yourself. Although that tool will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. Here we go. And proper testimony, not argument this time. Mr. Portsman, well, even though it says rebuttal, shouldn't it be an argument then? I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose that I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Okay? Look, I'm gonna fry you. You just have to understand that. Well, sorry, but we are not yet finished. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on, with evidence. Yeah, rebuttal time. How did you do it? You used the master key. Allegro theme is nice. I believe you were able to open my office with the master key, no less. Wait. Hold on a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. You would ask Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. But what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Huh, and how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used? The basketball mahoop. Yeah. What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Lean back. That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop had been moved. To sit it in front of my office door, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. How so, pussy nigga? Conjecture's rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me, except your fucking shit was locked. And we found a note under your actual door. What you got to say to that, pussy boy? So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure as innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty as and as guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show the one who is truly covered in slime here. Nickelodeon niggas. I forget if Pursuit plays this case. Well, I mean, it seems like it's getting pretty close to the fucking end, to be perfectly honest. Conjecture's rebuttal. Alright. Girl, and you were in the room the entire time. Then why does this note say that you weren't in your office? That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you are out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you, and what were you doing? Lean back. Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my... Ooh. Is this it? Hey! Hold on. Pursuit Lying Cold? There's no way this song is called Lying Coldly. That's sick. This is nice. This is really like... It fits for Edgeworth. You were busy snooping around in my room. The very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for me. Because his door is still fucking locked? I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right. I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then a print should be naturally on the doorknob she touched. Lean back. Further, all of the prints on my office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. Stole into my office? Is that supposed to be broke into my office? Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return. When I did, you would threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
What's so fucking funny? Explain, dickhead.
And just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all. He even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want it to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there.
You made that up just now, didn't you?
Furthermore, as for the note Jim left me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example.
Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway?
Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although it's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. You can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it.
Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would be better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Let's hear that alibi. Yeah. Memory serves, you came back to this office around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. Makes a good point. I can't prove he's not an idiot, quite literally. But I mean, like, as far as characters like this, like, in a courtroom, I'd be like, yeah, okay, he's given himself away. Let's go. Let's fucking shove him in a cell. But now it's kind of like, okay, well, I mean, we're kind of good here, right? We've got what we needed. You've proven yourself quite well. Good logic. And we're obviously going to have to fucking debate against it, but I actually pretty well like how this case has been presenting itself thus far pretty well. It's really good. But at that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sir, yes, sir. Uncle check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m. You see...
All the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere.
Well, it seems like we have to press, because I can't disprove any of his alibi.
You are correct. It was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then, making no mistake it was 2.
Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
As you say, however. It is as you say, however.
Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me,
Did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh, well, doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. Exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit.
Yup, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir.
A number of detectives said that they saw you around that time. See, I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there. Sir, please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If only I had a clue.
Oh, the intruder I met could not have been Portsman, then who could it have been? Interesting. So do we have to go into logic now?
I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic.
Or you just kick us in. Alright. Alright. So, if we can find that his gun, if he has a gun that has been fired at least once, then we got him.
There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and the other that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight.
Ooh. Well, I mean, what else could I connect?
Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of this second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that pointed at my back. Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth. Sir, what do you say?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I'd assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sir, does that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It means the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office that night.
What do you mean, 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and why there were 2 gunshots. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, do you? Or you still don't have any actual proof, you know? Also, this song, Jesus. This one is the best. This one is the best version.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
Telling the truth 2009? Tell the truth always hits. So then, would this be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? He must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct, and as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner.
Oh, but when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman. Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he also had left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
They stole an old file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun, and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice and the two bullets. It was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times?
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Who else could it have been? What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. I do like how, as scummy as this guy is, you can tell he has his prosecutorial chops. Yeah, he's decent. That's why I'm enjoying the case, because it's not like he's literally getting tossed a bone by the prosecution. Like, normally that's what happens in the Ace Attorney like courtroom cases, is like we back the culprit into a wall and then the prosecutor gives them an out, right? But now it's himself. I hope that's going to be the recurring trend here, is that the people we run into are all smart and they give themselves out, right? Or they give themselves outs, right? So they can get away with committing the murders. But it's a shame they have to go up against Miles, my nigga Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I absolutely have no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory's correct. I'm gonna fry you up, little nigga. Thief you ran into shouldn't be... Yeah. Keep it going. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. Hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs, so I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course! Now isn't the time to be wasting on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating.
There's a whole new tier of cross-examination called Presto. Let's go. You know, this game has a nice OST. Like, it fits for Edgeworth. Like, I wouldn't expect them to have, like, crazy grand orchestral music going on. So I wouldn't expect something like Overtaken for Edgeworth. But I expect this ramped up, like, piano, like, mild synthesizer build-in. Like, it's really nice. It's really good.
Let's continue where we left off, shall we?
Englishman has more class. Yeah, the slightly more pompous guy has a little bit more class.
I know he's lying. I know that he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
Alright. It seems like we pressed on when Jim came to deliver some evidence. Because what evidence was he bringing? Yeah.
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
Ah, that's because he said he was tired and he was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
There were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant.
Gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let it slip through the cracks.
I mean, if you know exactly what he brought, then why the fuck would he leave a note?
Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's the piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Get shit on, loser.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe... To get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Literally blue tracksuit niggas. Presto is essentially pursuit in the form of a cross-examination theme, and that's sick. Yeah.
Where's the missing piece of evidence?
Or like an objection theme that is stronger. Because it's not so much that... Because with the 3 stages of objection theme, right? So you have your bass, you have allegro, and you have presto, right? So your bass form of it is like, okay, I'm trying to figure it out, and then allegro goes to, I think I figured it out, and that's why you get it with the regular defense attorney cast, where it's like, okay, we think we've got it, and now we're going to put you to the ropes. And presto is, it feels like it's Edgeworth's version of, there's no way I'm wrong. I got you. You're done. Presto is essentially you're done. It's...
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? You had this on him, sir. It's a VHS tape.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin.
Does that see the KG8 incident? Let's go. Yeah. It's a police case number, sir. Does it mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's really important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once over.
Oh, is there gonna be like blood on? Yeah, blood on the back. Also, big props to them having like the actual proper holes for a VHS tape on it. That's actually kind of interesting. I like that. Because they didn't have to model that at all like that. Ah, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Face blood? No, no, you've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this video on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine his tape for fingerprints. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible. I'm... Oh. That man just swallowed a whole gold medal. March 14th, 5:47 a.m., High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. So I would like to point out that within hours, right, approximately fucking 4 hours, a little bit less than 4 hours, Miles Edgeworth returned to the country, saw a murder committed in his office, and then solved the crime. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside of the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
It was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder at this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up to a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there was a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir. But there's a rumor that some huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? And Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy.
I didn't say that, but rather, there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence.
I mean, has to be the stolen file, right? We figured out quite literally everything. It has to be my badge. We haven't figured out the mystery behind it. Why is Edgeworth a prosecutor?
Take that! The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the
stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
Ooh. Phantom thief niggas? What does it say? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. Three-legged raven.
Oh, three-legged raven. Okay, not the three-eyed raven.
Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The gray thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, the mark of the great thief.
Yatagarasu. Let's go! Who wants to play some Yatagarasu? Anybody trying to hop on right now? My Chada is pretty sick. Anybody trying to play? Anybody trying to play some Yatagarasu? Damn it.
Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will.
The noble Yatagarasu, vigilante of the business world, reappears. Dog.
But we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal. We do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts.
Alright.
The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection.
So, did him running into us just mean that we fucking caught him out?
Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card is sent or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to mass media.
No, but actually though, he just has longer phoenix spikes. Or Kaito Momota hair.
Along with the single card. Although it's been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Look, something's written on the back.
Let me see.
It's the location where the thief put the stolen files. That means it's Larry Butts. Could you imagine? Larry Butts is actually the Yatagarasu? That'd be sick.
So, the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery.
At least we got the office back and organized and cleaned up. We got a different frame. Got the same frame for the jacket.
The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
The end. That's a pretty short chapter 1. Huh. Yeah. 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 Let's go. It's chapter 2 time. Look at her. Turnabout Airlines, though.
The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu.
Was it that short? I feel like 1-1 and 2-1 were very short too. That's fair. 2 days earlier. Flashback, niggas. Oh, we're going back at, oh. This is all on a plane? Whose fucking big ass plane?
Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise.
Thank you for flying iFly Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Remember Dots' suitcase that had an iFly sticker on it? Did it really? Never noticed. This is a big ass plane though. Like, what plane just has a fucking big ass statue of Hugo Lilly? Hugo Fly? Also, shout out to Edgeworth just fucking experiencing turbulence and having an earthquake happen in the air. Bastard ass planes. Hugo iFly. Oh, okay, that makes sense. March 12th, 6:13 a.m. Flight I-390, first floor lounge. Gather yourself, Edgeworth.
Oh, I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare. 6:13, huh? Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are okay for your yeah. Fasten your seatbelts.
I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight, though admittedly I'm less comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes.
No.
What's this? A travel wallet, but it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket?
How did it fall out of your pocket is the better question. Here lies Hugo. Okay. Okay.
My head. Why won't this headache go away? I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. From earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator.
What fucking plane has an elevator on it?
What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one.
Christoph Gavin!
What in the world happened?
Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your seat. Eek! Dog, someone bashed him with that little statue. He's dead.
Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts.
What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer!
What? No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me.
March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight I-39, second floor, first class. Look at this fucking plane! I ain't never seen no first class cabin look like this. Is that a big ass fucking Sunday / parfait? Where they got planes like this at? Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today. Rhoda Tiniero? Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I don't get the pun. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse of it and it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So, until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off. Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit.
Yeah. I ask that everyone please remain calm.
What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm?
My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer.
Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy.
Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body.
So you say. However, I'm sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Yeah, because those are really honorable.
Oh, is that right?
I know what I saw. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up.
What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about?
The fucking wallet is his. We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation.
Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm I'm not about to sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it? Yes? I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you mean by incriminating evidence just now.
Yeah, her hair is definitely some awesome weird shit back there.
To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside you really call this action righteous?
You have a point. Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I do not have the time to deal with you at all day, so please make it quick.
Of course, as you wish.
Good. Very well. Let's get started.
I know for a fact that I didn't kill the man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve, but I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred.
Okay, right off of it. Okay, let's get it. What Miss Tenero saw. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Fortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder. It was fucking wine on a travel wallet. Are you fucking dumb? Not wine? Wasn't it wine? Grape juice, excuse me, grape juice. There you go. It was grape juice on a travel wallet. Hey, she's not a lawyer. She's not smart either. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over as soon as we land.
That's it. That's our evidence.
I don't think you would ask for more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth?
Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it.
She just showed up 20 minutes late with an arrest warrant. She doesn't even have an arrest warrant. They just tied me up and put me in my first class seat. I swear to tell the whole truth. Yeah. Are you talking about this?
Miss Tenero.
What is it yelling all of a sudden?
Force of habit? Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Tenero. You say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct?
Yes, all that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine.
Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you.
What?
I'd like to direct your attention to this.
Dog, I thought that was the fucking Kit Kat logo for the clasp, and I was about to lose my mind. I'm not the only one that sees that, right? The two Ks, it looks like Kit Kat. It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky.
The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Tenero.
What? Impossible.
Now then, do you still think that I am the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet?
But no, but I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did.
As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'll agree it's only grape juice.
Then...
That's right. You mistook grape juice for blood. You fucking moron. The murder weapon was dripping with blood does not in fact exist.
No!
There, that should clear up that pesky accusation.
Wait just a sec. That is... I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside, please.
She's trembling, and at the end tacked on please. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light.
No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of that wallet for myself.
She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Mr. Nero, if you'd be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me.
Alright, I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings. Usually?
but I guess we have no choice here.
Alright. Republic of Borgenia is back.
Seems that this passport is all that's in here. As you saw, there was nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree?
Please, hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it now?
Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself.
Ackby Hicks?
This is...
Just as I thought. This travel wallet belongs to Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. Okay, so the wallet was probably placed on Edgeworth then. You stole the victim's wallet? Didn't you?
How dare you?
You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is.
You dumb bitch.
Miss Tenero's logic sucks. As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? You can't be fucking serious.
So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see.
You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? Yeah, really just like dumb bitches, huh? And it's not like she's dumb and owns being dumb. It's dumb and she tries to act smart. Shut your dumb ass up.
Alright.
With all this money around him, I was stealing his money?
I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenero.
What is it now? Chat is thirsty for anyone that has a hole, Chris. Yeah. It's a shame that in an unknown amount of time we're going to be seeing a much better girl on screen anyways.
Miss Tenero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony.
What are you talking about?
Surely it's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that.
What about this scene would prove the motive for murder was not the money? I don't know, the fucking money?
If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor.
Ah,
that's right. This floor is all covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the very things the killer was after.
ah.
I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money.
But the wallet...
Ah yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks' passport. If you are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that all it was for was an empty travel wallet.
Forgive me, please. Hey, what the heck? Are you saying that the attendant's wrong? So that guy isn't the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick.
Will you all please be quiet? Miss Tenero. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you for releasing me.
Oh, Borginian. I recognize that Kamehameha hieroglyph anywhere.
What is it now?
This what we on, huh?
Mr. Nero, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
It sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who... I said that he is giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well. See? You, the attendant. Yes, sir? I want this person to be under arrest until we arrive at the airport. Dog, why is that vase strapped in?
I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly were you hoping for?
What is it you want? I'm finished talking to the likes of you.
Please, I would like to hear why you would like me to be held under arrest until we land.
How dare you try to waste my time?
You're the one who stuck your nose into my affairs.
I wanted to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you.
Insult.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English.
Well, I'd hope that I don't dissolve in water, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name.
I am Zinc LeBlanc II. I don't get it. I am a very wealthy man in the Borginia, but I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Also, what's with that? I want to check out that fucking movie poster back there. Hold on. What's going on, Sosa? Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now? Pardon? When you said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout? I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not even have a second to waste. Time is money, as they say.
Yes, and yet you continue to blather on.
I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going back down to the lounge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock. What does that say? License to love, laugh, maim, and murder? Dog, what kind of movies are they showing on this plane? I never got no cool movies like that on a plane. And what's the significance of that time?
It's 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6.
What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body? Well, it was a little after the patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:50. Oh. Hicks was his name, was it? And I say that man Hicks was killed in a 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was this prosecutor, yes? Don't you guys have You have all this shit on the fucking plane, but you ain't got some cameras? Also, who let their coffee spill? Godot would be pissed. Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Dog, you're ready to leave the plane. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. I was still eating. I haven't finished eating, see? Dog, what cut of beef is... What kind of steak is that? Asking for a friend. Me, it's me, I'm the friend. The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaint, I see. Not a single word against this. No compliant, I see. Excuse me, not complaint. Not a single word against this, right?
I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me.
Oh, so you say, but do you have, what you say, the evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all?
Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw, enough to give testimony.
Of course, I was looking at that man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time.
Machine?
Yes, that's what you people in English call it, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, click, click.
From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer.
I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself.
A simple cell phone, a laptop, or organizer, I can see, but that's kind of low budget.
Edgeworth, do not fucking money shame the man. I hate that noisy little machine in his hands. Not a fragment of beauty, all it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw.
Mr. Nero,
Yes?
I was wondering how I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene.
What? You want to examine the crime scene?
If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit.
I don't like the sound of that fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English.
It's fox guarding the henhouse, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. If I'm given the chance, I can clear up all remaining doubts. Mr. Nero, if you wait until we arrive, there is a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then.
I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. This should not be approved. Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are made to be made by the Wait, what? You don't have a flight marshal on board? Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. You are not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes?
Of course not.
We will see. Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene. What? Unbelievable!
I am in your debt, Mr. Nero.
However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural, as I am still a suspect in this case.
I take the full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance that enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed?
If you should need my help with...
Oh, that's, yeah, partner button shit. Yeah, Edgeworth running on the plane. Where will he go? March 12th, first floor lounge.
I want to thank you for your help back there, Mr. Nero.
It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you to that extent. I don't want you to think your standing with me has changed.
I see. I will bear that in mind.
I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. Meet our assistant for the game. Or for the case. I was about to say, if I don't get Gumshoe back, I'm going to stop playing the game. That's what would happen. Alright.
So my time runs out, and it's his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up.
Do I have like a hard time limit?
I understand. By the way, is there any other place you can think where the killer might hide on board?
I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes in first class without a staff keycard, and we found no record of a keycard being used at all.
Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near the crime scene since the murder was discovered either.
First floor lounge, begin investigation.
Now then, let's get started.
Where should we start from?
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, that means the killer was around somewhere.
Where was the killer? If we were to believe what you say is true, then yes. Edgeworth really went through a murder investigation when he was coming back and when he got back. Yeah, I mean, at least he had a little bit more time, right? Because this was 2 days ago. 2 murders back to back, no Drake.
The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust.
Do not need to look at whatever this is. Alright, well,
there's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence.
Oh, we must clean that up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I found some very important evidence.
What is the important piece of evidence in this scene? What? It's the fucking footprints. What is it?
They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree that these are a set of footprints.
So you think...
Yes, these belong to our killer.
Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class.
I don't think that will be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match.
Oh, I see. Alright. Now, what is...
Spilled grape juice in a pool at my feet. Unfortunately, the delightful scent of grapes is obscured by the unpleasant smell of the crime scene.
Scent in the air. It's the same smell as the smell of my towels after they come out of the home dryer.
I would have never expected something like that by looking at you. I suppose everyone has something unpleasant about them.
Phoenix did what, 4 cases this year? I mean, this is 1 month after Trials and Tribulations, right? Which was like in the same time frame, right? Like very close to it at least.
What floors does this elevator service?
I mean, like in the last 365 days. Yeah, fair enough. 4 cases in a year, and then Edgeworth just goes and hits 2 back to back. Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard.
So only the floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh?
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. And one of them crooked nannies. This is as far down as I can go. Nope. I guess I can look at the murder weapon, though.
Who's the sinister-looking figure on the floor here?
Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Mr. iFly. It is one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. You have an in-flight shop? This bank is limited edition. It's so popular we're down to our last one.
You have an in-flight shop?
Yes. It's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks' body was discovered.
There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon?
I would assume so.
I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight.
I doubt anybody was expecting to find a fucking elevator on this flight. So Mr. Hicks, he's really dead?
Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that one, and there's a corpse right there.
Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes.
I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of his head. Could this be the cause of death? Appears to have been struck very hard. Even his glasses are broken.
We get a lot of logic. But again, the floor sounds like free cash to me. If you come across a murder scene and pick up cash that was on the floor, expect to go to jail.
Something's missing from this picture. Now if I could just put my finger on it.
So, do we have anything that we can logic together? Where was the killer? The killer was in the elevator. Had to have been. If he died in the elevator.
True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. If the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, that's a different story.
Yay. So, in the elevator with Hicks. I don't think we can do anything from here, though, right? Well, technically we can do blunt force trauma and the murder weapon. Grinding this for this last material to make the sun summon 5 stars, annoying me. Yeah, welcome to Grand Blue.
Grinding for blank to make the blank is annoying me. That's Granblue. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out. Yes? What is it? The way the blood up is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head. I wonder we're deserving of the Master of the Obvious title. Say it out loud, Edgeworth. That's why I only have one Eternal. It was the freebie they gave us. I mean, yeah. It's pretty unfortunate. Just grind, and my team is slightly better now. What do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon. Oh, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of any other connection. Perhaps Master of the Oblivious would be more befitting. Say it out loud, Edgeworth. Alright. So. Let's go ahead and... What else do we have that we could look at this? Is this a handkerchief? No, handkerchief would be in his breast pocket. What is this? There's something sticking out of his pocket. Could get Seaphon soon, but I need Rise of the Beast comes back. Yeah. Gold bars is probably the worst thing that you could have to fucking grind for in this game. I hate that fucking material. I hope you won't mind if we take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. Looks like it was taken inside of a building somewhere. So, it's a picture taken in front of what looks like to be a priceless piece of art? Or history, question mark? Yeah, I think it's, I think Mr. Zinc is pretty obvious at this point. The only other person speaking, ooh, native Borginian, but now we have deduction. So, I think we deduce this, right? Because that seems like it's probably... Wait, hold on, let's look at that photo. Yeah, okay, so he's missing his cell phone, that's what it is. Interesting. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yup. Eureka is great. Mr. Hicks' machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? His cell phone, Mr. Nero. Oh, so I guess it's because it's not here. Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. Bro, this bitch is dumb as a sack of bricks. Jesus Christ. Alright. So. What else do we have? We can logic something. Can we? Well, yeah, technically. Because the spilled grape juice, they lead away from the fucking elevator. Or the footsteps lead away from the elevator. I have it. I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder. What? Really? Yes, it's rather simple, actually. The proof is in the pudding. Or rather, the grape juice in this case. You were really waiting on firing that one off, Edgeworth. The footsteps here confess to me this very fact, that someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person. But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself? If you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless. Which means Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite, you dumb broad. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. Grape juice footprints. Investigation complete, I guess. Fuck it, let's ride. What's going on over there? Oh, LeBlanc is coming down. Unforgivable. This is unforgivable. Do you understand what I am saying? The movie is late. It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late. But the movie...
What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time. What is the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir. Do not tell me what to do. I need not to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet?
If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now.
What? Nonsense. Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken?
Not mistaken, merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more.
Fine. Suit yourself. Well, let's go. I'm certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. Was he the only person that entered the elevator? So the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. But I discovered 15. Well, the needles on your watch pointing to the 6 and the 12 could also mean that it was fucking midnight 30. Get ready for horny. How about you guys just calm down? Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal.
Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of the murder was me.
So, my eyewitness testimony. If you think you can destroy it, then come, let me see. I play Grand Blue That Lives, Breathe game. No, that game doesn't live, breathe, and die on horny. If you really want live, breathe, and die on horny, then go play fucking Azure Lane.
Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast.
What you saw. Alright, like I was asking, was it just him? Play Don Machi? Juve, no one is playing Don Machi. What is this being played on? I'm playing the mobile version. You can get the mobile version of the first Ace Attorney Investigations on the Google Play Store. However, the second one we might have to play on emulator, because I spent a solid like 3 hours yesterday looking for the second game. I was able to find the download for the second game off the Japanese Play Store. However, I couldn't find, like, I found a link to this group called Scarlet Study, who was doing the translations for DGS 1 and 2, or rather has done the translation for DGS 1 and is working on the translation for DGS 2. And I was like, oh great, they linked to the download for Investigations 2. So they must have done the translation for Investigations 2, because when I found the video that said they were working on the Prosecutor's Path like translation, it said that it was uploaded like September 2018. And going to their site, they linked to the buy page on the Japanese Play Store for Investigations 2. And I was like, alright, sick. So I should be able to just get the game and apply the patch. No, because their patches only work for DGS 1. Their little fucking thing that they have. They only have downloads for the translations for the DGS games. So that leads me to believe that the mobile version is not able to be played with a patch, because they don't have anything saying that they do. Because, like, even if let me show you. See, got it right here. I got their app right here, and I've got Ace Attorney Investigations 2 right there, ready to go, right on the fucking main menu here. Now, if I launch their app, Iris Mobile, it's going to be hard as fuck to see. But, error. The Great Ace Attorney has not been installed. So I don't have anything. I can't do anything with that. So I have to play it on DS. So we're only going to have mobile for this game. So once we finish this and move on to 2, we are going to have to swap over to a DS emulator, unfortunately. Or, yeah, I mean, my perfectly legit and totally not modified in any way 3DS capture card. I'll have to play it off that.
Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look inside the elevator at that time?
Of course, I saw what was inside.
And are you sure that the victim was in the elevator alone?
Yes, the only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man.
This is the last outburst. It's a bit too important to let go.
The only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man. Are you sure about that?
Mr. LeBlanc,
What is it?
there's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. Oh, excuse me. There, at the spilled grape juice.
Yes, and? Will you admit you also spilled it with the blood?
No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints.
Footprints?
Yes, the one that leads from within the elevator out to the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive.
Oomph.
There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth?
In English. Can you please translate for us? Oh. Dog, is that a fucking monkey plush? No way, that's totally impossible. I guess is what he said. No way, that is totally impossible. I know there was no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes. If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us.
I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me?
So we got Tenero on our side now. Yeah, she's our gumshoe for this chapter, it seems. What I saw part 2. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was checking the time over and over again. Why? Why did you want to... I happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed. I saw certainly into the elevator that he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside, no one. So why were you checking? Well, obviously he wanted to see the movie, but hopefully we get something else out of it. Not at all. Please forget I said anything.
Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth.
Alright. So, let's ask. What were you doing checking your watch over and over again?
Why were you so attentive to the time?
At least with this game, like, the presses right now, at least, seem like they make sense. Like, pressing is only to get more information from a particular statement. Whereas before in regular Ace Attorney games, you press when you don't have anything. Or if there's a specific... Like, I don't think I've had to press everything for a testimony just yet. Except, no, I have. For the alibi from Jock Sportsman. But that's only one instance right now. It seems like the pressing is more obvious, let me say it like that. It's more obvious to me right now. Because something unforgivable was happening.
Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier.
I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return me back to my time, in money. You understand the point.
Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine?
All times are shown correspond to our departure time zone. Okay.
Summary of the plot in the start time. Interesting.
I suppose so. License to love, laugh, maim, and murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I look forward greatly to the movie. I check my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to destinate... You fucking moron. So, what's the time difference from where we're leaving? So my watch is not wrong. It matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late.
Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little bit more about that, if it's alright.
Checked it many times. Launcher sets my destination time. Yeah, just shut the fuck up, dumbass. Where does this game fit into the timeline? Shortly after Game 3. Shortly after the original trilogy ends.
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony. Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination.
Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I would like you to take a look at this.
At least for this one, you can probably just guess he misread the English.
If you believe the Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind.
Okay, so if you thought it was going to be playing at 6, what time did it actually start playing at? If it was late, so it was definitely after 6, but how much later is the question? For him, at least.
Mr. Nero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now?
Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point.
That's right. It was in the small Asian country of the Republic of Zhangfa.
But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now, we are still running on Borginian time.
What? The time difference between Borgini and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule. Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks.
Okay, so again, the same reason why Frank saw it got fucked up in the very first Ace Attorney case. 9 hours ahead, 3 hours behind, whatever. Edgeworth is coming back from Borgini in case 1. That's correct. That man was coming back for whatever. I think maybe he still doing his tour, figuring out how all legal systems worked.
It also changes everything about your testimony, and you could bet 1,000,000 cents on that. In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
Dog, what does that win? My 1,000,000 cents.
You should clean up all the remaining accusations.
So this basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right?
Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m. It means that the time of death could be anywhere from...
Yo, is this bitch falling asleep over there? Bitch, leave!
The question is now where Mr. Hicks was during that span of time and what was he doing?
I've got something to say.
And you are?
Yeah, oh. I'm Chamomile. I'm a flight attendant.
What is it you wish to say?
Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
What? How can you be so sure of the time?
Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. Y'all like the bitch that's just falling asleep, standing up? That's crazy.
Stop we made for refueling and cargo in the transfer to Zhangfa, correct?
Between 4 and 5 a.m. Right. Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks.
And during that time, did any of the passengers leave or did any new ones board the flight?
No, not a single person got off or in Zhangfa.
What about the flight crew?
The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back to the plane.
So basically, I can assume that no one left or got off, or got on since our initial takeoff.
Ben, come on, brother. You don't fuck with Chamomile? Just go to sleep, nigga, move.
Interesting, I should keep that in mind.
Refueling data jotted down. Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you Mr. Ackby Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m. Miss Mill's testimony jotted down in my organizer.
Alright, then that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15.
Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth?
I remember coming down here as soon as we left the Republic of Zhang-Fa.
You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge from the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards?
Unfortunately, yes.
But then how do we explain the footprints? Is that not obvious? This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in this lounge, waited to kill him, and then he put the corpse into the elevator. That is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken. But what time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter, because the entire incident concluded here in this lounge.
Everything happened in this lounge. Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
Do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented.
Is there something that could tie the crime to a location other than this lounge? Or the gift shop?
The murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there, only there. It is not displayed here in this lounge. How then did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious?
Such a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all. I mean, technically, right? However, we also have to assume that you'd have to either buy it from the shop or steal it from the shop, and Edgeworth's fingerprints would be on it, right? Well, we can't really do fingerprinting up here.
Is there no way to win with this man?
If I may. What is it? You see, well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says. Oh, and why do you know this so well? Well, it's just that piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes.
And when was this?
It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.
Isn't that just before we hit a patch of turbulence?
That's right. You were in the shop just before the turbulence? Yes I was.
Come to think of it, Mr. Nero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door.
Yes, I did.
And what is beyond that door?
It's the flight attendant's room. Then, you were on the first floor? Yes. I had to do something in the shop in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first, then to the flight attendant's room.
Are you saying you passed by me at some point?
Yes, you seem really into the issue of Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by.
I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was.
I genuinely like Cammy's design. Just say you like tits, bro. It's fine. Liking tits is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there. Why did you go to shop in the first place? I went there for a work-related matter. Work, you say? Yes, the upkeep of my shop is also one of my responsibilities. Why did you not say anything about that until now, is what I want to know.
In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there then?
Or shall we head over there then? Shut up. Just don't talk. Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're alright. Huh? That's weird.
What is?
Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all. I hate this bitch.
What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero?
It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you had permission to search all over, but you don't, and yet here you are. You, flight attendant, what are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us?
Captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way. Mr. Nero, why would you do such a thing? Please excuse me. Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would follow me, I will be your guide from now on. There's something about Mr. Nero that has piqued my curiosity. But right now, investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority. You're not gonna come along, you sleepy bitch. Ooh. March 12th, 8:32 a.m. in-flight shop. So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here. You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then. Teehee. Hold on. You can't clean up a potential crime scene. Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much. I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. Alright. There is a very good chance that this killer had paid this place a visit. Begin investigation. Inside this display case is a row of lifesavers and life vests for sale. We sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something, but some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one? I sense that this shop is one shopper away from being sued. I want to look. Can I not look at it? Oh, can we? Yeah, I want to see how well we can actually fucking move around without moving around. Yeah! It's much easier for me to do it to the left, but still pretty good. Gonna head out. I'll keep the VOD for the rest of this case. Bye, everyone. Take it easy, Ave. Beautiful flowers and a beautiful arrangement. I feel cleansed just by looking at them. Mr. Edgeworth, you're getting pollen all over. Oh, excuse me. I want to look at this fucking paper, but I guess I'll go fuck myself. What are these? Well, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it. Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world, you try then buy. No way. But either way, it doesn't really matter. True, either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they've boarded the plane? Anyway, see that? Just look at the Mr. iFly heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They're painted on with a lot of care. Isn't it like he's about to jump out at you? It certainly is making something jump inside my stomach. I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes. You look like you really wanted to get one, and I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done, though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay? But I never showed any interest with it to begin with. It's really pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda. Mr. Nero designed this. Yeah, it was a company-wide contest. Well, it does have a very sharp design sense. Sharp? Like a stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so blech. Mr. Nero designed this, did she? It's definitely not what I would have expected. You okay? I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Mailer. Or Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation. Well, no, it just doesn't have its blocks put in. You can see them on the other suitcase. They block the wheels. Can I see that? There's a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases. You know what I'd suggest? Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs this trip. And how about you buy something for me then, as a present? I can't think of a single reason why I want to buy you anything. But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time. Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. Literally, pay attention, and then you might get something. You dumb bitch. Glass from the display case's door shattered all over the floor. It looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat. Dog, it's hard to tell where stuff is. Stuffed toys, just like the one Miss Meal is holding, are on display here. Relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly.
How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I know you want one too. They're great for while you're stressed.
Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that?
Alright. So, let's go ahead and see if we can't logic some shit together. So, what's up with the murder weapon? And the tiny cat. Yeah, okay.
That had probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from the display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it?
Eh? Really?
Don't tell me you don't know where things go where in this shop.
Well, I don't. Rhonda's in charge of this place. Or Rhoda, excuse me. So come on, how should I know anything?
I sense that further inspection of this display case is needed.
Okay. So now we just have broken glass and suitcase, and we got broken glass. The piggy bank kind of just left. I won't rest until I've inspected. Okay. Suspicious looking nook and cranny. We're getting that a lot. What do we deduce? Just the empty shelf then? Because that's where the fucking piggy bank is supposed to go?
Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Eureka's great.
There's definitely something very unusual about this.
About what?
If the killer had broken the glass to get to the Mr. Eyefly bank, and there should be shards of glass inside the case itself.
Ooh, I see. I guess it'd be like that.
However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case.
Nope. No, there isn't.
Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor.
I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at the time, too.
Eh? That's nice.
Which leads me to believe that the killer took Mr. Eyefly here from after the turbulence.
Alright. So, we got turbulence. This has gotten updated. Interesting, interesting. So, they... No. So, the turbulence happened, knocked the piggy bank over. It flew out of off the shelf. The person heard the glass shatter, came over, and picked up the murder weapon? Also, nice sleeping, moron.
Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Meal, and listen when I'm talking.
What?
But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon.
So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake?
Yes, at this point, this is a very real possibility.
Then what if the killer went to take the Mr. Eyefly, they broke the glass by accident?
The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but there's one person who could have.
And who would that be?
Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place. She's the keys to everything.
Miss Rhoda Tenero, huh?
Why does Tenero seem so fucking familiar? There's somebody that had like a last name similar to that in fucking in Spirit of Justice, but I can't remember what the name was. It's something very similar to that though. It's not the exact same, but it's close. Tornado? Yeah. Valid. The Rakugo people? Yeah. That's way too much fun. But now, what do we look at? We can go into the logic. Suitcase turbulence?
Yes, there's definitely something wrong here.
What's with the sudden yelling?
Tell me, Miss Meal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure. Like, they totally ooze strange. Like the color and such?
It's not what I'm talking about, now pay attention.
Is everyone on this flight dumb? Is everyone on this flight other than Miles Edgeworth dumb?
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper.
Yeah, they do look a bit uptight, don't they? I guess they take after their creator. Sick fucking burn.
Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Meal. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
Teehee. I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. Do you think I fucking care?
She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I spotted something that's not quite right. What is so unusual about this suitcase?
This one doesn't have stoppers on it.
There's something very peculiar about these wheels.
Huh? As in?
As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have set it flying.
And? It means somebody put it back! Please. Please, 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 please. Let me run into another smart person. Please, God, where's Francisca?
And so it is very likely that the suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we?
That wheel is bloody.
What's this? This wheel is completely covered in something. This color and scent.
Oh, not bloody, but it's covered in grape juice.
What appears to be the substance in question is grape juice. But why would there be juice on the wheel of a suitcase?
Is there blood somewhere else? Let me zoom back out. I can't really see anything else. Is there something inside of it? Can we open it?
It will appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. There we go. Piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood.
Ah, it's blood!
It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all.
Investigation complete. So, explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder?
I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used the suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps.
But aren't you just talking about the cloth, then?
That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of.
Oh boy.
The thing I believe the killer used the suitcase to transport is...
The big body.
Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it?
We got him. When we hit the next to be continued, I think I'm going to end for today. I'm really enjoying this game, but I kind of want to pace myself out. So it's probably going to be a short stream today, but don't worry, we'll be back proper time tomorrow. So whenever we come up on that, because it feels like we're about to hit a separation.
In light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location.
I will say, however, that going into this right now, this is probably one of the more convoluted murder plots that doesn't have an immediate out that I've seen from Ace Attorney, which makes me really appreciate this game. Crazy how they don't do anything about Cammy's design but change red wine to grape juice. Well, that's personal preference. It's not for censorship, right? It could have just easily has been wine.
because they were talking about alcoholic drinks in 2-4. They were making Bloody Marys. So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it?
Exactly. What is it?
Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat.
I understand his sentiments, however, I'm not allowed to complete my investigation. The crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist that I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the 2 sites. Under your supervision, of course.
The setting for this case is really cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate the unique of setting of it's an airplane, so that means there's limited people around, and they're limiting even further to it has to be somebody from first class or part of the crew. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together.
I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what was real reminded me about Miss Tenero. I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light.
To be continued. Hey, there we go. So, I think that's where I would like to call it for today. We are going to save. And it looks like we've landed. So what happens if it hits the title? Yeah, it'll say, okay. That's a little bit weird though. Like if you hit save, it kicks you right back to gameplay, but if you hit, if you hit to title, it asks you if you would like to go to the title without saving, and if you hit no, it brings you back. It's a little bit weird. And if you hit no, it just kicks you back to gameplay. Okay, so with that, that is going to call it for me for today. Won't be able to catch them on a stream due to work, but I hope you continue to enjoy the case. Me as well. But for those of you that will be showing up, aside from Mr. Starsman in the VOD, I'd like to thank you all very much for coming out, and I'll catch you next time. But until then, I'll have to catch you guys later. Peace.